Content warning. The Adventures in HellwQrld podcast talks in depth about QAnon, which means we have to talk about all kinds of child abuse and violence against people. Listener discretion advised.
Hello, everybody. I am Mike Rains, a.k.a. Poker and Politics, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in HellwQrld. This week I am joined, as always, by Haley.
It's me. Hi.
She made it. She's here.
I did.
Yay.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. And he's back. It's the mysterious Hell.
That's right, my beautiful babies. I have returned from Epstein Island. Now, that sounds a little sus, but mind you, he's dead. So since then, it has been renovated to be a day spa for regular adult people and no children to do adult stuff with no children around. It's great.
Is the dome still there?
Yes, that's how you get tanned. You just sit underneath the dome and it shoots dangerous levels of UV radiation. It microwaves you. It's sort of like being Jiffy Pop. Have you ever wanted to be a Jiffy Pop?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually saw some QAnon promoter talking about how there's an island off the coast of Spain that might be the new Epstein Island. And they were like, is this where the elites are going now? And it's like, isn't Trump like monitoring the whole world with his spy satellite network? Wouldn't he just know? Wouldn't he just tell you? Why are you guys in the dark about anything? I thought you had the ultimate contacts, the greatest inside information of all time.
Also, I mean, I know it ruins the fantasies that these people love so much, but the reality of the situation is, where's it going down? In a basement in Beverly Hills, or like in a basement in Ohio, in a basement anywhere really. Sometimes an attic, maybe like a shack in the back of somebody's property. Anywhere, just a living room. It turns out that people can be predatory creeps anywhere.
Yeah. They
don't need a giant $1 billion island. It just turns out that white rich creeps do like to buy islands. Johnny Depp has islands.
I saw someone talking about culture in the mainstream media, and they were just like, a decade ago, people thought this was acceptable, and it was like when Johnny Depp was Tonto in the Lone Ranger movie, and he had like that crow on his head and the face paint.
Yeah, I don't know what planet were those people living on 10 years ago, because I remember my reaction. And don't get me wrong, I've done a lot of growing up since 2013 or whatever. But my reaction when I saw Johnny Depp as Tonto was, that's fucking crazy and racist and what the fuck?
Yeah.
But my favorite part is that he did find like a sneaky little workaround where, like, I believe, now again, I don't really do research or anything, but I seem to remember that the property that Wounded Knee was on went up for auction, and Johnny Depp bought Wounded Knee and then turned it over to the original people there as like sort of like a make good, because he was just like, oh yeah, but like when I was researching Tonto, I really got into like, indigenous culture of the people of this region, and they like took me in as one of their own, so now I've given them back Wounded Knee. It's like, God, that is a really cool gesture, but you're still Johnny Depp, so let's not get too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, nobody listening to the podcast remembers that, Mike, because nobody saw that Lone Ranger movie. It was a huge bomb.
I didn't see it. Sorry. I remember the commercial, and there's like a train. That's about all I remember.
Yeah, that was when Hollywood tried to make Armie Hammer a thing, and then it just turned out that was never going to happen. Like, no matter how much juice the Illuminati thought they had, no matter how much power George Soros thinks he has upon us, America was like, no, we reject that guy. Armie Hammer.
We reject the Arm & Hammer brand.
Yes, that man is never going to be a super mainstream Hollywood hunk that we're going to slap down our hard-earned money for. No bueno. Hard pass on that dude.
What a crazy, in hindsight, cast in that movie.
Yeah,
like a giant like $300 million or whatever like Disney movie that's starring Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer. Just like, isn't it like that guy, that like domestic abuser and a cannibal? Like, oh yeah, they're teamed up, buddy.
A cannibal domestic abuser and a normal domestic abuser.
Yeah. Isn't it a drunk domestic abuser and a cannibalistic domestic abuser? It's like the Odd Couple, but they have one thing in common.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, Hollywood, you absolute cesspool of depravity, and this is why people are able to generate conspiracy theories around Hollywood and how it's full of bad people who do bad things. But
it's almost like power's bad.
It's weird. It's almost like obtaining power and wealth allows you to do terrible shit and get away with it. So strange.
That's kind of why I don't really fuck with politics that much. It's just like, could you imagine being the sort of person who wants to have your hand on the wheel? Yikes.
Yeah, I think you're probably an awful human being.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people I know who are just like, you know who should run everything? Me. It's just like, oh, buddy.
I don't trust you.
No. I don't like that impulse at all.
Yeah, that's like one thing I read like a million years ago is like wanting to run for president should disqualify you from running for president. Just that idea.
Yeah, it should be an appointment. Like the people should get together and decide who it gets to be, and you just have to you just have to deal with it. You just have to eat shit.
Like that was like the idea of the original Electoral College. Like the founding fathers basically had the idea that us, the filthy proles, would vote on who our betters were, and then our betters would get into a room and be like, who should be the president? And then they would stroke their beards and think about it long and smoke on their pipes, and then they would come up with the president, and then the president would be like, what the fuck, you picked me? What the shit? You're like, yeah, tough, it's you.
And then, you see what the presidency does to a person? You age like 20 years a year. It's crazy. Barack Obama came out of that. Look at geriatric.
Yes. And this is the 1800s. 20 years in a year will kill you. There's no way I'm going to make it out alive, you bastards.
Yeah. I don't know. America's great, and we all love it, and all of our institutions are perfect, and we love them. And this is the one thing we are not joking about on the podcast. So if you are whatever the name of Donald Trump's liberal hunting police force is in the future, please reference this episode and know that we were always bootlickers and we always love you. Please don't kill us. Actually, you know what? Fuck you. Fascism sucks. Just go ahead and kill me. I don't know.
L's very conflicted of either living under an oppressive fascist regime or just getting the check.
You gotta kick its ass, bro. You gotta kick the oppressive regime's ass.
It requires cardio I don't have, and hiding requires less mass than I do have. So I'm just gonna be very easy. It's the same thing. It's like zombie apocalypse rules. How do I survive the zombie apocalypse? I don't. I mean, I can't run away from a zombie. You fucking kidding me? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone's just like,
I luck out and am on a cruise ship when it happens, and then we do the right thing and throw off anyone that looks infected, and then we're just like, okay, we're safe, I guess. Now it's time for Lord of the Flies. That's much better.
Yeah. Now I can use charisma. I have a chance to win now because that's my stat. Yeah. Whereas if the stat was agility, nope, hard pass, game over, bam. Like I am defeated almost immediately.
Yeah, you could be handsome and charismatic, but then you have to take some sort of debilitating drawback, like Armie Hammer did with cannibalism.
Yes.
And also, the charisma thing might be giving him too much credit, because I feel like if he had charisma, he wouldn't have failed to launch. Even Ryan Reynolds got there at some point. Like, that's all Ryan Reynolds. Like, Ryan Reynolds is like a handsome dude too, but he was always like really trafficking on the fact that he was super affable. And for like 20 years, it just didn't go anywhere. Everybody was just like, Ryan, who? What? Who cares? But then he was just like, no, I'm going to make this Deadpool movie, and everyone's going to love it.
Yeah, he found his calling, which was being Deadpool, which
not Green Lantern.
Not so much Green Lantern. I love the fact that he just constantly brings up how fucking terrible Green Lantern was as an idea. Like, the fact that he murders himself in the end credits of Deadpool 2 over Green Lantern is just like fucking chef's kiss.
Well, he's sort of like a standard bearer for Magic the Gathering, and he's just sitting there waving his flag, and everyone has to target him with criticism of it because everybody likes to give Taika Waititi a big passarello on that movie. Yeah. Taika Waititi is in that movie and bad in it. And like everyone is just like, yeah, we're just gonna give him a pass. Taika Waititi was never in the Green Lantern. We love him, and he directed a couple of good movies and some really bad movies that we pretend don't exist because we love Taika Waititi.
Man, I wish I could be absolved of all my bad decisions and just my good decisions are praised endlessly and relentlessly. So.
That's what happens when hey, it's charisma. It's that Riz, He's got
Get
that
famous enough.
Riz.
Yep.
He's just like, he just seems so nice that you just want to be like, oh, it's okay that you did Love and Thunder, buddy. It's okay, buddy. It's fine.
The hell is
I
Love and
that
Thunder?
was almost entirely your creative process, but it's cool. You got it.
It's Thor: Love and Thunder, where basically he just like he didn't even direct. He was just like, you guys are in a scene and improv it, action, and everyone was just like, we're getting paid for this? Fuck yeah, boom. We're just going to ham it up. And Christian Bale's just like, guys, I'm trying to act. And they're like, shut up, Christian. All the checks clear the same. No one cares. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
I feel like we've talked about miscellaneous horseshit enough for the day, so let's go ahead and get into the amuse-bouche.
It's time for a light sampling of insanity. Get ready for the amuse-bouche.
Alrighty, this week it's only not news because the people involved are nothings and the events involved are also mostly nothings, but it is what everyone's been talking about. So let's go ahead and talk about Lauren Boebert gave it her best friend, HJ, or I guess boyfriend, not best friend. Although maybe best friend too. Who knows?
I think they broke up already.
They did. Probably because he didn't, like, the headline I saw was, like, Lauren Boebert splits from liberal boyfriend in wake of such as, and I was just like, yeah, I'm sure that guy was just like, oh no, this is a tremendous amount of heat that I don't need. This is done. We're done here.
Yeah.
Thank you for the in public hand job and probably the sex that followed, but we are done here.
Oh, it was crazy. Her flipping him off as she was leaving. I was literally
she was
like,
feisty. She was
they were,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the most relatable she's ever been.
The sack that night. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, this event is all relatability because it's just a politician just behaving like a dumb, entitled goofus. Like a regular person might.
Who hasn't gotten weird in a movie theater a few times?
Who hasn't vaped in public?
Yeah, I know. I do it all the time. I do it in the theater.
Yeah, dude.
Literally, I was like watching it like me.
Yeah, I mean, but mine's usually like a not. I don't do the cloud thing.
No, me neither.
I'm not looking to rip fluffy cotton.
Hold it.
I'm looking to try to keep it inside me for the
kill
THC.
your lungs.
So it is slightly different, but yeah, man, Boebert, I get it. I've gotten frisky in public before. Hey, I've had to do a little vape in public. Hey, I've flipped off a camera for catching me doing something I don't like. Hey, but
I've done all these things.
but unfortunately, like, relatable though all that stuff might be, you are an elected official, and you are a hypocrite, and you suck.
Woman of the people.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. The best thing about this, sorry, I haven't let Mike get a word in edgewise since I started leading into the boosh, but the best part about this is, much like Young Gravy, bringing the mysterious L's attraction to the older woman to the fore. Now all of a sudden, lots of people are talking about how Lauren Boebert looks pretty good at a dress, and I've been saying that for a long time.
Is she even old?
She's nice. No,
is she even old?
You can be attracted to many things.
She's not even old, is she?
No. But it is similar. Young Gravy was just like, hey,
how old is Lauren Boebert?
It's like, I also think she's hot. But Elle's predilections were also just like, I also think that Lauren Boebert is hot. And that was sort of a sensitive, touchy subject back previously. Now, less touchy. Everyone's coming around to my way of thinking.
I guess we do have to mention, though, it's like, she calls LGBT people groomers and awful things. And, I mean, not that this is grooming or anything. It's just like, you're being a little weird in public in front of everybody. Let other people be a little weird in public sometimes. Lady, you don't have to be so fucking judgmental. Just be cool. It seems like if you could just be cool. If you're into vaping and hanging out with dudes that like run a bar that has drag events and like, you like getting your honkers hogged. Just be cool. Just be cool. Just be normal. You don't have to be like a hate monger. That's
she
not
can't get
cool.
elected if she's not a hate monger. I mean, that's
you can look at her. She's like, just do it. Go the other way. Be a love monger.
Just be attractive.
Yes, literally. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this, people.
Plenty of people are attractive enough and liberal enough to make it in politics. I mean, I've seen them. Like, I'm not going to call it any names, but there are tons of people who's like, when I look at their policies, I'm just like, what? I mean, okay. But also, they look good. So, and they've got charisma. So good for you. Like, all right, bully on you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Boebert's whole thing was that she got into the House of Representatives by winning a primary against a well-funded Republican because she tapped into QAnon and blindsided this guy by hanging out with right-wing conspiracy nutballs and then getting enough of them to vote in her favor that she was able to win that election. And then her Democrat opponent in the general election was like, I got this in the bag. There's no way this Boebert can beat me. And then it's like, joke's on you. Not so much. So, yeah, that was not great.
Anyway, I don't really have much to add to the conversation surrounding her doing this stuff, aside from the fact that it's just like, yeah, it's another textbook case of just like conservative hypocrisy. Just like, you know, especially because her initial, like, she was just like bald-faced lying about it when she got caught, or before the videotape came out, when they were like, you know, discuss it. She was just like, yeah, I was just enjoying myself at the show. I don't know what's that. I've never seen a vape in my life. And then they were just like, okay, well, here's very clear CCTV footage of you vaping. And, oh, what else are we doing? Isn't that interesting? And she's just like, yeah, okay, I'm going through a divorce? And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I liked her dodging it on, like, OAN and stuff. She was just like, I was just having a little fun. We've all had a little fun. I was like, you're right, girl. Just don't be a fucking bitch all the time. Maybe change your politics.
Maybe just yeah, maybe if you weren't just an abhorrent person to begin with, people would, like, you know, this wouldn't be such a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because this ain't the late 90s, you know, or the late 80s, you know, like getting caught jerking somebody off in a theater. I way think we're
it was over the pants, so you know.
I way think that we're past the Paul Rubens. You know, you're in an adult theater, your dick's out, like that's it, your career's over for like 30 years.
Yeah,
I think that like Laura Boebert could have been going down on the guy on the stage of Beetlejuice the musical and still just have her seat, because we've come a long way in politics. Scandals are not like scandals have to be real scandalous now.
Yeah. So
like, I did like that they were like
the seat of the president of the United States might be won by a convicted felon by the time it all shakes out. Yes. And people are just like, what's controversial about that? So, I mean, that's just sort of where America is these days. So, Laura Boebert, you let your freak flag fly, you know, and come over to the liberal side with us. Just repent for your sins and come to the good guy team, and then be, you know, the Hellcat on our side.
Yeah. Someone made the point. They were just like, if we elect a convicted felon president, then maybe you not being happy with the way the vice president's laugh sounds isn't as big a problem as you think it is with America. Maybe America's fucked a little bit more than that.
I mean, we had Bill Clinton, so it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care about sex.
Yeah. But
your sex stuff has to like also Venn diagram with other illegal things for me to care about it.
You gotta like eat someone like Armie Hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. But even then, I mean, you know, depending on the law of the land and how much consent was involved.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to another Bush topic. Ray Epps was arrested. Mike, for the audience and also for me, because you know that I do not know who this is, tell us who this is and why we're bushing about it.
So Ray Epps is basically the guy behind the January 6th, according to QAnon and the right and all this stuff. Because basically, on the night before, on January 5th, Ray Epps was with a group of people, and he was talking some shit. And he was just like, yeah, tomorrow people are going to need to go in there and do some stuff. Like, we're going to have to, like, actually...
We're going to take that Capitol, and we're going to go in there. That's what he said.
Right. So Ray Epps was talking some shit the day before. And then after January 6th happens...
Also, it's on Baked Alaska's stream, and Baked Alaska's like, Fed, because that's kind of like a big part of the theory, is that he's like, they called it right there, he's a Fed.
But, yeah, so he made this comment to a few people, literally. It wasn't like he got up on stage after Alex Jones did his set, and then Ray Epps like got on stage and started yelling about that we have to take the Capitol by force tomorrow. It was just Ray Epps, like 12 people, Baked Alaska yelling at him, the end. And then after January 6th happened, QAnon and all these other people had to find a scapegoat. They had to find a person to blame for what happened, and it became Ray Epps. And they were like, hey, this guy said to go into the Capitol, and he was behind it, and everyone listened to him, and he ain't getting arrested or anything.
Just so nobody has independent thought. They're like, he said a thing, and we all were activated.
Yeah. Ray Epps is literally Kilgrave from Jessica Jones. He just told everyone, attack the Capitol. They were just like, I think just ran at the Capitol. And then on their way in, he was like, throw coffee at yourself. Like, shit, and just like, all that awesome stuff that he did.
Continue to charge at that police officer until you're shot to death.
Yes, yeah. Jump through that window and jump through that window. Ignore that officer's demands to stand down. Yeah, exactly.
You become a heroic martyr to the worst people on earth.
Yes. Yeah, so
she was a hero. Yay, we agree. And also, while we're at it, Nazis are pretty great too, right? Yay.
Clip it. Elle did it this time.
Yeah. So this was the big thing, and Ray Epps he testified before Congress, I believe, and all these people were like, why isn't he being charged? And Ray has also done a bunch of interviews about how he's a Trump supporter and how this whole January 6th conspiracy theory ruined his life and it made him really sad. So
literally, like he lived here in Arizona because he was the former president of the Oath Keepers here, the Arizona chapter. And
I'm with you, sister. That's whatever I think about Arizona. That's how I want to say it too. Like literally exasperated sigh in the middle of the word Arizona. Yes, nailed it. Florida's right there too.
Yeah,
Texas. Fuck states. Not you though. If you're listening and you live there, you're great. It's just you're like an oasis of greatness in a desert of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lived here, and like weirdos started showing up to his farmhouse. He had like a barn that he used to do weddings, like the wedding venue at, and weirdos started showing up at his house, like, "Hey, you that guy that did January 6th?" So he fucked off from Arizona. He's like in hiding.
I love the idea.
Wait, sorry, let me elaborate on that. Were they? Wait a minute. Were they weirdos that were in favor of him, or weirdos that were opposed to him, or both?
They were weirdos who were at January 6th. One of them I know was at January 6th himself. So I don't know if he like bought into the narrative that January 6th was a false flag, or he just saw opportunity to basically go harass somebody that the right has built this narrative around because it's convenient to push that narrative. And also he's like a quote unquote content creator himself. So it's like kind of just convenient to go harass Ray Epps in general because it's like
that's
pretty
hilarious.
big figure
Can you imagine
on the
being
right.
one of these like hyper conservative ding dongs and like you do a big hyper conservative thing that you think everyone's gonna love you for, that instead chuckleheads and AR-15s are showing up on your doorstep just being like, "What's up, you fid?" And you're just
Yep.
like, "Wait, what? No, what are you talking about?
I was there with you guys,
just like you do." Like me and you were on the same team on this. This is like, I bet.
Yeah, that's basically what happened, is that Ray was just like, this whole thing has ruined my life because I was on Team Trump and now Team Trump has disowned me because of this bullshit narrative that I was somehow this deep state infiltrator that made everybody do the attack on the Capitol. And so now the fact that he's been charged, and I believe he's already submitted a guilty plea to, he's taking a plea deal. He's like pleading to
it's just
guilty
one
to,
little charge. That's also a conspiracy. They're like, of course it's only one charge. The liar, we're on to you.
Right. Yeah. They're trying to placate us by charging Ray Epps with some bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, he isn't getting charged with his actual real big boy crimes. He's getting charged with this bullshit to make it look like the feds are going after him when they're really coddling him and protecting him. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Fun stuff. Well, it couldn't have happened to a worse guy. Whatever he is getting now, he deserves. So,
yes.
Sucks
for him.
Nobody's on his side. Everybody's just like, fuck you, Fed.
Yeah. We hate him because he's an actual MAGA chud who did want to like attack the Capitol.
Oathkeeper piece of shit.
Right, and now the MAGA chuds hate him because they have to blame him for January 6th in order to make themselves feel better about what happened. So it's just a lose-lose all around for Ray Epps. So confabulations, moron.
Excellent.
Shouldn't have stormed the Capitol.
Much like that dramatic, long, wide shot in Lawrence of Arabia, it's time for us to triumphantly go back to the desert of shit that is Arizona, with our Arizona correspondent and new regular co-host and good friend, who I do not hate, despite what she says.
Okay.
Haley. I couldn't remember if the I hated you conversation was like off mic or on mic.
It was off mic, but now everybody knows our drama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, our scintillating, totally legitimate drama. We were really in our throats, guys. You couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna throw it over to Haley to talk about some fun stuff happening in their neck of the woods around Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, I guess. Mike,
you know that guy?
No, I know the name, but I couldn't.
He's
tell
the small face.
He was the original captain of the Enterprise, if I recall.
Yep. He's the head of Turning Point USA. He's the guy with the small face. He did that one protest back in the day that was like he was in a diaper. They were in diapers in like a pin on a college campus. I don't remember what
I love that this is not a thing you're making up.
No, it's not. It's just like that's what a lot of people know him for is like the Turning Point USA and the diaper thing. And
did I see you writhing around in a diaper?
Small little face. They call him Small Face.
The name's Charlie Kirk.
Was
and the diaper thing is only one of my interests.
Yeah, was he actually in the diaper? Because I've had arguments about if he actually wore the diaper or not. Or if
I don't even know if he was part of that protest. I just know it was a Turning Point sponsored protest, the diaper thing.
Right. I just remember seeing like young white men, aka like college Republicans, in diapers, and like they were like wearing like polo shirt. Like there's a guy with a polo shirt with a diaper on, and he's just naked beside the diaper, and it's like super weird. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you in public like that? That is like a fetish that people keep under wraps usually, buddy. Like, what is
if
wrong
something
with
weird is happening on your campus, it's probably Turning Point USA weirdos. They're just fucks. That's Kirk's thing, is like his organization kind of it's like it focuses on the youth, like high school, college. Recently they opened up a K-12 curriculum here in Arizona.
Are they going to use PragerU with it?
No, it's their own thing, but it is kind of like this. They're similar. So that's kind of part of the story, is that Kirk came to Arizona State University back in February with
home of
Prager.
The fighting racists.
Home of the Spartans, I think. I'm sorry.
I was close.
I think I don't know. I didn't go there. I didn't go to college, so I don't know. Sorry, ASU. If I know that they're like logos like this. It's like
shocker. It's a shocker.
It is.
Wait a minute.
It is. It's like a shocker.
So my joke about them being the fighting racist is only slightly off the mark because their actual logo is throwing up the shocker. That's insane. That's like that crazy AIDS memorial that they erected in California that just looks like a huge butthole. So now they're going to take it down, maybe. Sorry. It's just like, sometimes reality, it just seems like there are cracks forming,
The mascot is Sparky the Sun Devil. I don't know why I said Spartans. That's a lie. That's a filthy lie from my mouth.
What the fuck is a Sun Devil? Is
a Sun Devil
bird?
Because we're demons in Arizona. You see, look at this. You like this guy?
Wait, so it's actually just the devil. So wait. So it's not the fighting racist. They're fighting Statons throwing up the shocker.
Yeah, it's a devil throwing up the shocker. This is what education is doing to your children.
I guess. I mean, how does that fly in around so many conservatives? That's literally the devil.
Well, maybe that's why Charlie Kirk's trying to bring down ASU.
Absolutely insane. I'm so glad that we have somebody just like deeply entrenched in one of like the three terror spots on the planet.
You don't like our demon throwing up the shocker?
I mean, honestly,
college mascot.
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen about Arizona. It's very surprising. That seems like the sort of thing I would see on like a local punk flyer. Or like
it is, honestly. It is kind of punk. I like him. Sparky. Anyway, so Kirk came to ASU back in February with Dennis Prager, for like to give a speech. But the speech was like, when they put out the flyer, it was like officially sponsored by the Honors College at Arizona State University. And they never informed the like professors at the Honors College that they would sponsoring this event. So a bunch of them were like, no, we are not attached to this Kirk event. And they like signed a letter just saying like, we're not part of this fucking event. And Kirk lost his absolute shit. He was like, excuse me, are you canceling me? And like went on a whole tirade on all his podcasts, and Dennis Prager was similarly crying, and they complained to the like president of ASU that like all the professors should be fired. And they put him on in their professor watch list. Elle, if you don't know about this, also the audience, Kirk maintains this like watch list of professors and school boards and just anyone he doesn't like. And it's basically like if you're gay or teach anything too liberal or you just say I don't like Charlie Kirk and you're going on the fucking list.
But wait a minute, we're partially gay, hyper liberal, and hate Charlie Kirk. What do we have to do to get on the list? I want to be on a cool list.
You have to be a teacher.
What am I doing on this podcast if not educating the populace about Turbo Teen?
He's Professor L. This is his classroom. We are HellwQrld U. We are a liberal curriculum that is trying to indoctrinate the youth that trans people should have rights and that gay people are acceptable and good.
Yeah, and our mascot was going to be Satan throwing up the shocker, but apparently that's already taken.
Oh, that's so funny because someone was arguing with me on Twitter and they said your thumbnail of your podcast has the Baphomet on it and the all-seeing eye, and I'm like, yes it does. And he's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, to trigger morons like you. And then he was like, well, troll better. And I'm like, no, you literally just got upset. I won. You literally acknowledged that my trolling worked.
I'm gonna get at the artist behind that piece, and they're going to be incredibly pleased that their depiction of Baphomet is going to be triggering folks.
Yes.
Just you wait until the next time when we get updated art for the show. Just you wait. It's gonna have so much culture in there. You're not
so
even
much shocker.
Know. Yeah. There's gonna be the shocker, the less common reverse shocker. That's... Two in the stink, you madman.
Oh dear God,
that's crazy.
There's only one in the stink. These ratios are all wrong.
Your calibrations are totally unacceptable. I do not want to subscribe to your newsletter. We need some pizza. We need some cheese pizza in
our. That's the logo of the rival school.
What else triggers these people? Oh, we need the back of the $1 bill. That's another thing that deeply upsets these people. There's nothing I enjoy more. It's like once every 3 months, somebody in conspiracy QAnon land has to just make a post where they're like, they throw it in our faces all the time. They have a picture of the $1 bill, and it's like, really? The $1 bill triggers you? Like, you call us snowflakes?
Oh, okay, we could have like a triangle with butterfly wings or something. It's like a twofer. Those people go crazy. You're like is there a spiral too? You're a spiral inside of a triangle with some butterfly wings. Boom.
Yeah. Oh man, because I was talking some shit at Liz Crokin, and she didn't actually answer me, but what she did do was tag in this lady whose name I can't remember. But that lady, her whole gimmick is Project Monarch, which is a fake MK Ultra knockoff. And that's where the butterfly comes from, is the Monarch butterfly comes from Project Monarch being this like mind control, child sex trafficking operation that was an offshoot of MK Ultra. And by the way, it's also a pure fiction. It didn't exist. MK Ultra was real. Project Monarch is not real. So it's just like,
the only Monarch I fuck with is the Mighty Monarch from the Venture Brothers, because he's dope as fuck.
Yes, and Dr. Girlfriend, back when she was
was hot as fuck.
Yes.
I'm not usually in for cartoon characters, but Dr. Girlfriend does it for me, I must admit.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us move on. So is that all the Kirk nonsense? He was coming
no. So anyway, Kirk, yeah. So the event went on, even though he was like crying foul forever. And like we literally had like our lawmakers hold a actual hearing about how he was canceled, even though the fucking event went on. And now he's coming back for round 2. Like I think at the end, like in a week actually. And he's again being like, I was canceled, come see me, even though the event wasn't canceled. And he's just been like harassing these teachers who have been getting a bunch of death threats. But he took it a little too far on his podcast. He has another podcast about like swing states right now with Tyler Boyer, who's the COO of Turning Point USA and kind of like a head of GOP stuff here, and then Austin Smith, who's a representative here and also works for Turning Point USA. And they started shit talking the president of ASU. They were like, they were just shit talking him about the event. And finally the president of ASU came out and was like, all right, Kirk, you can't be talking shit about our professors. The event went on. Like, if you want to keep talking shit, like, add me to your fucking list or shut the fuck up, basically. So, like, it took him almost, like, 7 months to finally stand up for his professors, but Kirk made the mistake of starting to, yell at the boss. So now it's not, like, working out so great for him. But one thing that was funny that happened out of all this is that, like, the person who funds the, like, building that Kirk had his event in is a conservative. And he apparently believed that all the nonsense that Kirk got canceled, and he just pulled funding from the school entirely. And the woman who hosted the event lost her job. So that was kind of funny.
Way to go, dum-dums.
Yeah.
Nothing better than friendly fire. The only thing I remember from Charlie Kirk's podcasts was after the 2022 midterms, him having a bunch of callers on the air, and they were all like, well, I didn't vote because it's all rigged. And then Charlie Kirk was like, who told you that? And they were like, you did.
You did. He was
like, no, the whole rigging thing is just to get people upset. You're not supposed to believe it and then not vote. No.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God.
Mike, stop tipping our hand. If you're one of our hate listeners, that's one of our textbook funny jokes. The elections are rigged and you should not vote in them.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to change course, and now he's doing like a remake of like the P. Diddy Vote or Die kind of thing, but it's Vote or Live. And
God.
And trying to convince his audience now that like voting's good again. He which is like
I'm assuming this guy's a Christian goon, and that does sound like some hyper Christian goon shit.
Vote or Live.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that? That sounds like some youth pastor turning his chair around, like sitting down on it all backwards, and be like, "Let me rap with you. You know, your best friend is your ride or die.
You guys like
Love
Diddy,
got
right?
Jesus Christ, and he's my ride or live because he died for my sins." And it's just like, all right, pal, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go smoke ganj.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Charlie Kirk remains a moron, and all I can think about now is his tiny face. And then, once I remember what his face looked like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he wasn't a lot of tiny face memes."
Yeah,
Look at his adorable little
actually,
face.
he was at NAU yesterday, which is the Northern College here. And a bunch of people like drowned him out, and they were like, the signs all were like, "Charlie Kirk has a small face." So shout out NAU.
shout out small face protesters.
Yes.
Anyway, let's move on to our headline news segment and talk about some real important stuff in Q's in the news.
From the digital headlines to the digital front lines, it's Q's in the news.
Real important stuff number 1 this week. Russell Brand. That's right. The comic whose star faded like a decade ago is back. And this time, he is, of course, being accused for sexual assault / rape. Because of course he is. Because he's Russell Brand.
Like, what has this guy ever been in that is making people defend him? I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Even?
He had a weird career trajectory. He got famous in Britain doing panel shows and like stand-up stuff where he was like incredibly open about his sex life, which was apparently robust and abundant. Then he broke out in the States with, he was in a bit part in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which spun off to Get Him to the Greek. And he also had a stand-up special, I think, around that time.
Oh, well, we got to rally to this man's defense. He's been nothing but classics.
Well, here's the part where it gets interesting for him. Then he transitioned into being this, like, leftist, like, you know, like, the left started to love this guy because he was saying the right stuff. He was doing the right things. He was out there, like, preaching, like, peace and love and all this shit, just whatever. Then, at some point, something happened in his life, and then he started being an anti-vax conspiracy nutjob. So now the left hates him because he's an anti-vax conspiracy nutjob, and the right loves him because he has, like, a weekly radio show, like, you know,
he's on Rumble. That's all I know of him.
Yeah, where he just, like, preaches conspiracy bullshit to dumb Nazis. And it's just like, what a weird fucking life this guy's had.
Get him to the
whole
Greek.
time,
it's like,
he seemed like everyone's sketchiest friend of a friend. The guy that showed up to the party, that you were like, oh, hey, man. And then you would elbow one of your trusted friends and be like, keep an eye on that guy to make sure he doesn't put anything in any girl's drinks.
Fucking literally. Fucking literally.
Like, so when, you know, like, I hate to judge a book by its cover, but fucking books have covers for reasons, man. Like, it was just like Russell Brand accused of rape. And I'm just like, yes, he did that. I mean, I'm inclined to believe the accuser anyway, in situations like this. But I mean, especially, yeah, he seems like the sort of guy. Anyway. I
watched the special, the like hour and a half special, and it was showing some of his comedy, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I never thought he was especially funny. I mean, he was fine in the role they cast him in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He was perfect for that role. This aloof, stupid, like, you know, guy that you just kind of hate most of the movie, and then by
it's
the
like
end
a movie you
just
vaguely
say,
heard of like
he's
fucking 15 years ago, though. It's like, who the fuck cares about this fucking guy? What? The rallying to the defenses for this guy was wild to see. I was like, who the fuck even fucking is this fucking guy? Like, I don't know. It was just weird to see. Mike, take it away, honestly.
Yeah. So the best part about this thing is the worst, is that, so basically this story is going to break. Brand has received word from somewhere that the London press is about to release this very documented expose about the numerous women that have come forward to allege that he has sexually assaulted or raped them. So he goes on the internet and posts this like 4.5 minute long thing about how the media is out to get him. There's a plot to destroy his character, and he denies everything. And this was actually like in real time. Me and Elle were in messaging, and I said to him, Russell Brand's about to go through some shit. He just posted a thing on Twitter about how he didn't rape anybody, and Elle was like, that's a totally normal thing
normal shit
to say. Yeah, obviously he's not about to be accused of a massive amount of rape.
Yeah, I know that. I say that like once every 2 or 3 days, just apropos of nothing,
just to be
like,
safe.
Man, you know what? I've never done rape anyone. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this video comes out, and then people notice there are a lot of jump cuts. There's a lot of edits in this video. It's only 4 minutes. It's only like 4.5 minutes long. So you would think that a guy who's been on camera before could do that in one take, and that if he like boofed a spot here or there, you might maybe some mild editing, maybe do a second take.
But Mike, what if I told you that he went on probably like a 45-minute unhinged rant, and they had to edit it down to 4 minutes of apology, or you know, getting out in front of it?
That is absolutely what happened.
That's very likely or possible. But the most vicious part of this video is that he has a line in the video that says, my relationships were always consensual, and there is a jump cut between the words always and consensual. And if you're part of his management, if you're part of his PR team, if you're him, if you notice that you had to do a cut between the words always and consensual, wouldn't you just be like, okay, buddy, I know the story's going to like break in an hour or so, but let's go for another take there. Like that is an edit that is really bad. That is an edit that makes you look terrible. So maybe we just put you back on the couch and do take 2. And Russell's like, nope, just run it. Just edit put the edit in that you need to put in, and just run the video.
Russell Brand doesn't do 2 takes.
Yes. Russell one take Brand. Yeah. That's his.
Oh, Russell Brand. I don't do 2 takes.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck off.
Exactly. Yeah, so that all happened, and as Haley was saying, like the story is incredibly damning. I mean, the Times, the article, it's brutal, it's well sourced. There was like a cab driver who literally drove a 16-year-old to his place and then told the 16-year-old, don't go in there, don't do this. This is dangerous. And the 16-year-old's like, hey, I'm okay with it. Like, pound sand, cab driver. And
it's 2010, and Russell Brand is somebody.
Yes.
And he just wants to take me up to his room for drinks, and we'll be totally fine. Because he's not a creepy sex predator. Oh wait, yes, he is. It turns out. Shock.
Yeah.
He's not just one of the totally normal guys. It's just like, hey, I would love you, 60-year-old girl, to come back to my hotel room by yourself for a deep conversation about the universe.
Yeah. And apparently, again, Brand's like management team like told him, do not be seen in public with your girlfriend who is a teenager. That is a bad look for us. Keep this relationship on the down low. Which, how about your PR team just tells him, don't date a 16-year-old, you fucking creep, you goddamn weirdo. How about not doing that? I mean, just so this all happens, and everything's pretty documented, and holy shit, are all the right-wing scumbags just crawling out of the woodwork to defend this guy and to claim that he's being railroaded. Elon Musk fucking came out and was just like, I stand with Russell Brand. Elon, you
immediately.
It's like, Elon, buddy, what the fuck? You're busy destroying yourself every other which way. Why are you getting on board with Team Rapist to just really let people know how fucking ridiculous you are?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, Elon, don't get me wrong, buddy. I was already giving you credit for being able to smell your own, all right? Don't worry. You just sit down and wait for it to come out about you. We all know it's coming at some point there, Chief. Like, I just went like, all the bit, like, didn't Andrew Tate also come out and have some shit to say about it? It's just like, okay.
Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, all of them.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, well, the gang's all here, I guess. Look at all of these upright, stalwart citizens defending this guy. I'm not supposed to infer anything by who is supporting whom, but I will say, what a motley crew, you know?
What a cool group of folks.
Yeah, which is a good and normal group of men who've never had any scandals about them whatsoever.
Ben Shapiro was literally like, 16 is technically legal over there, and it's like, okay, calm down, dude. And also, like, it's the rape that was a lot of the issue here.
Yeah, it was the lack of consent. We weren't talking about statutory issues here. We were talking about consent, buddy.
Yeah, this is the classic style. This is sexual assault classic.
Yes.
The one where somebody just like overpowers and or just penetrates without consent a person. You know.
Right. And I love these people who are like, Russell Brand could have got laid by anybody. Why would he have to do this? And it's like, because assholes like him do that kind of shit. Like, so many famous people are monsters, and consent is not an issue for them. So yeah, they could have had consensual sex. They decided not to do so because they're terrible. That's why.
Yeah, it sounds like he was into being a piece of shit, and that's the answer to why he didn't ask consensually. If that's the reason people.
But the thing is that, like, for anybody who doesn't, you should only need to be told that once in a situation like this. So I know a lot of people out there who would just be like, "Oh yeah, but so person could get whoever they wanted." That's their defense anytime anything like this happens. And it's just like, what, do you just not understand that some people just get off on the power, the crime, the dominance, like whatever version of it is? It's just like
he was literally open about it. Like, that's why I was like, comedy special, because he kept, like, if you watch that special, that hour-and-a-half special that like Channel 4 or whatever put out, the UK fucking network, BBC or whoever the fuck, I honestly don't recommend it because it's incredibly fucking graphic, because it's like splicing these women's stories with like his comedy special, and like he's pretty open about like, yeah, I'm into being a little abusive freak piece of shit. So yeah. Also, some of his tweets were kind of coming out that were like, that was kind of a weird thing to say, talking about fucking teenagers and shit.
Yeah, I've given out so many free orgasms to teenagers. Now it's time they can pay me back. It's like,
yeah, and it was like register to vote information.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Whoa, what the fuck, buddy?
Yeah. Jokes in hindsight are super not funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way of the world now. You know, you say some shit, you think it's pretty funny at the time, and then 10 years in the window. I mean, thankfully for me, my platform is small, and the stuff I say is pretty benign. But like when my Facebook memories pop up, and it'll just be some joke I made on my Facebook page like 8 years ago, and I'm just like, ooh, like, said it's composition wise, like I could clean it up, but like, what's even the point? Why did I even bother? I'm just deeply, deeply ashamed of stuff that I wrote from back then. That's what separates us from the animals. Shame.
Yeah, yes.
with the Russell Brand thing, though, it's just interesting to, like, just all these people who, like, were like, rah, Epstein conspiracy, every Epstein. It's, Hollywood is a bunch of pedo cabal, rapist fucks. The second, like, a rapist is exposed, they're like, no, we must rally around him. He's our hero. He's one of us.
He's a white guy. So white, though.
Yeah, and he promotes anti-vax. I mean,
yeah, he's one of us. What convenient fucking timing. That's what I kept saying. Oh, convenient timing. It's always convenient timing, isn't it?
Yeah, what's so convenient about this timing?
I don't know. It's like, I've never heard of this fucking guy, really. Besides one
Russell
movie.
Brand was about to be on the come up. He was a fucking has-been. And like a lot of comedian has-beens, he slid into conservatism. Like, like joining the ranks of like fucking, Roseanne Barr and fucking, dig dogs of her ilk. It's just like, Joe Rogan. It's just like, hey, guess what? I couldn't hack it as a comedian anymore, so now I'm going conservative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna take down Rob Schneider next week. It's like, oh, what timing on that? It's like, oh yeah, we waited for the primo moment to strike down Deuce Bigelow. We had
the stapler.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's just, oh my god, it's so ridiculous that
unblock me, Rob.
You coward.
Dude, just hit him up on Blue Sky.
I don't think he's on there yet. I think he's fine in his conservative bubble on Twitter.
Yeah.
What? No, certainly he's on Blue Sky. Everyone's on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
That's going to be Els. I mean, I granted, I guess a bunch of people are signing up for it now, but man, my Blue Sky experience has been quite boring.
I like Blue Sky.
It is a fucking. Well, I mean, I guess like it seems like the sort of thing. If you're leftist and politically minded, it seems pretty rad because it really just seems like.
Yeah, it's all the journalists there so far, kind of.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm seeing that and furry stuff exclusively. It's the weirdest. The weirdest
thing
I've ever experienced.
Go on the boards and find your place.
That was the thing about Twitter. I didn't have to find shit. It was just there. That's why everybody liked it. You went there and it was there.
Dude, I couldn't even get it to work the other day. It was like I was trying to look at comments. It was just like not working. I tried to look at messages, not working. I tried to load the timeline. It wasn't working. It's like, even if you want to go on Twitter, it's just like not fucking possible.
Yeah, and I'm ashamed to admit. Well, I'm proud to admit that I didn't do it, but I am ashamed to admit that for a time I was considering making a sock puppet account for browsing Twitter again because Blue Sky is just so media. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to cancel my Blue Sky or anything. I'm going to wait for it to hopefully become a platform worth really engaging with. But my God, I just want to go to a place that just have dumb shit. That's why I still use TikTok. I load it up. There's dumb shit. I don't have to do any work. It's there. It's dumb. Yeah,
you're not a political guy. You're just hanging out on the internet guy. You don't need Blue Sky. Mike, you should use Blue Sky more though.
Okay.
Mike, get on there.
Okay, I will try to.
You'll go viral. You'll gain a following.
I'll try to overcome my Blue Sky passivity. It's tough though. It's just
literally
tough.
Just copy paste what you're already posting on Twitter. It's
if Elon has his way and actually charges for Twitter, I'll be on Blue Sky immediately. Oh my! If he charges me 5 cents a month, I'm out. Fuck him. No, never, never, not once. Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, I'll mail you your hero medal right after I'm done turning my nose up at you for sticking with him through the name change to fucking X, which lasted longer than 7 days. And at which point I was like, I am done with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They see it all sucks, but.
And you know what? If I had 10,000 followers, I'd probably still be on it too, but I don't. So I get to turn my nose up at you. I get to do it. It is my right.
I accept that. That is fair.
I get to suffer through the PBS of social media that is Blue Sky, in order to turn my nose up at you for using the social media platform that's still actually where stuff is happening.
I'm starting to notice local reporters pay for a blue check, and I'm judging every one of you. So know that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what business you run. If you're paying for a blue check, you're fucking dead to me.
Yeah, and if you're a journalist doing it, you're extra dead to me.
It's not like your follower count goes down if you don't have that blue check. It's just like, fucking stop paying Elon. But what are you, drunk?
Pay for your demise, you fucking idiots.
So stupid.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, I can't wait to jump over to Mastodon. Wow, we're wildly off topic. The best combo.
It's okay. We're just moving on to another sex pest piece of shit. So who cares?
Yeah, and this one is somebody that like has even less brand recognition. Bazinga! I did that on purpose. Than our previous creep. Some guy whose last name is Ballard, and apparently that's all I needed. That's all Mike gave me.
It's the Sound of
Boom.
Freedom guy.
Ballard. I don't know. Am I supposed to know him by name?
Tim Ballard.
Yes.
Jim Caviezel. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
but not
I know
Jesus.
Jim Caviezel because he's like an actor that was in movies. This other guy is a nothing who did nothing until this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our boy Tim Ballard, who may attempt to try to become a real something in the very near future, because I've been reading articles about how he's debating running for Senate in Utah, maybe going for Romney's seat.
Oh God, he could win. That's awful.
Yes, no shit. So our boy Tim Ballard, who was the person portrayed in Sound of Freedom by Jesus as the pedo ring crushing hero.
Oh, okay, bet. Now I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was the director or what. No, I didn't know. The guy who was allegedly this cool badass in real life that almost certainly was not.
It's he's the guy that Jesus is mythologizing in Sound of Freedom. He is a real person who still is alive and is very entangled into like politics and all this shit.
Yeah. So Sound of Freedom comes out, is a sleeper hit. Everyone's freaking out. And then Operation Underground Railroad, which is the organization that Ballard founded to quote unquote fight trafficking. Suddenly they just kick him out of the organization, and they really don't explain why they did this. But now this week it came out that 7 different women have accused him of sexual harassment and assault, and that he was grooming them and was very aggressive with them and was doing everything he could to turn their relationships sexual, and that there were periods of time where he would either make them lay in bed with him to quote unquote trick human traffickers, or let him grope them. And a lot of times when this sort of thing would provoke outrage from them, Tim would claim, how far are you willing to go to fight human traffickers? Like,
literally had them showering with him. Like,
yeah.
What do you need to do this for?
Yeah, you got to shower with me to show that you can fight human trafficking. How? Why? Well, if they're looking for you and you have no place to hide but the shower with me, you have to be in the shower with me. But I don't have to be naked in the shower with you, do I? Yes, you do. It's the only way. Their vision is based on clothing. Naked human beings are not visible to child traffickers. This is how this works. I'm Tim Ballard. I'm very smart and not a creepy sex pest. Yeah. So this may be your next senator from Utah. Utah, shape up here. Don't fucking let that happen, please. And thank you. Because this guy is clearly a fucking monster and a total piece of shit. And thank God Jim Caviezel and these other right-wing ding-dongs created a movie to turn him into some sort of like super soldier, child trafficking, god hero, whatever. And now that guy is going to be able to try to run off that movie because all he has to do is win the Utah Republican primary and he's in. There's no Democrat's going to win a statewide election in Utah. I mean, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, that is, I mean, because Russell Brand's a nothing nobody who's never going to go anywhere at this point, and it's mostly going to be stories about him being canceled or him being arrested. But if Ballard actually goes through with this and actually runs for fucking Senate, then boy howdy, that would be super scary, because he's got the Utah QAnon vote locked up. Oh my God, like that section of the Republican primary field.
He's very popular.
Oh yeah, he's got that.
You thought the rallying around Brand was wild? The rallying around Ballard, oh my goodness, it was. Yeah. He does like events here. He does like events, I mean, he does the tours with like, Republican parties all around the country, because like they're all into Sound of Freedom too. Like Sound of Freedom had a premiere here with our Republicans. It had a showing at Mar-a-Lago. Like he's pretty involved in Republican politics. So yeah, I think they'll rally behind him pretty fucking hard, which is annoying. It's annoying.
Oh man, just imagine us having a senator worse than J.D. Vance or Tommy.
He lied about being related to an elder. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I remember I saw that the Mormon Church was like, "Fuck you, buddy! You don't fucking you don't trade on our brand without fucking being right about it." Like, can you imagine being a white male in Utah and stepping so far out of your lane, the Mormon Church comes at you? Oh my god! Like, how badly have you fucked that up? Oh man, Jesus.
Also, what a lie! Just like, yeah, I'm related to an elder.
Why? Why even make that lie?
No need
Dude,
to lie
because
about
in
that.
Utah, that might make you the Pope.
I guess, yeah. That's like
fair.
Riz in Utah.
Yeah. You're getting somebody free non-alcoholic beverages. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Women very politely asking you for a conversation. So good. Okay. And as always, wrapping up our news segment, we couldn't escape it. Even though you may have been tricked to think we were going to escape it, you were fucking wrong, listener, because we are talking about Donald Trump. I guess. I mean, mostly because he's always doing some stupid horse shit.
Yeah. So our boy Donald Trump, we have a little two-for of him, a smorgasbord of our esteemed former president. Step one is the fact that he gave an interview where he made it clear that it was his decision to try to overturn the 2020 election, not his lawyers, not anybody else, that the buck stops with him when it comes to this whole criminal conspiracy to try to undo the election that he lost. And that he's like, look, I'm the one that wanted to do this. This is on me. So please, Donnie, keep doing interviews, keep building the case against you in court. I think this is a very smart thing for you to do because it's awesome. And the other thing that our boy did was he gave a very long, rambling speech. And during this speech, he confused Obama with Biden and Hillary at some points. And then when he eventually figured out that he had screwed that up, then he put Biden into his word salad. And then he declared that Biden is going to lead us into World War II. That Joe Biden is incompetent leadership in Russia. That's it, folks. World War II. That's where we're headed. We're headed to World War II.
It would be great. It would be great if we didn't feel inclined to bust on it for such a small gaffe. But considering the Republicans' whole deal is, hey, Joe Biden is too old and enfeebled to be our president, and this is the guy they want to run instead of him. It's just your guy is old and out of shape and enfeebled. Your guy sucks. He's worse in every way except for literally the number.
The grandpas are fighting.
Right.
Yeah, it's so funny to me. And then
we should elect younger people. That'd be sick.
And then on the other hand, you've got Mitch the Turtle McConnell fucking going into power saving mode live on air in front of people multiple times. It's that person needs medical assistance, dog. Relieve him of his duties and let him stay at home with a blanket over his lap. What are you doing?
Yeah, everything is a projection. They're so scared of their doddering, slow crawling down a ramp, senile candidate that they have to project all this enfeeblement and senility upon Biden to try to make it seem fair when it's just not. And I think the funniest thing was watching the speech that Trump gave. When he says Obama's name, he knows he got it wrong. He knows he didn't say the right name. And you can just see this look of frustration wash over his face. He's like, ooh, I fucked that word up. God damn it. Why is my old brain not working properly? And it's because you're old. And you're probably battling long COVID. Because remember that COVID case that nearly killed you at the end of your presidency? That probably just didn't go away. That's probably really bad. So, it's just really wild that everything they're doing is this massive bit of projection. And there's now an article coming out that Trump is worried about having to wear a jumpsuit if he goes to prison. And he's been talking to his attorneys about that possibility. And it's yes, you don't get to, you're not going to have a wardrobe. You're not going to have a clothing, you have a closet to put your suit on in the morning.
And let's be real. Is he worried about the fact that he has to wear the jumpsuit, or the fact that they're probably not going to let him wear Spanx or his girdle or whatever stuff he's got going on to mitigate whatever public damage his real body would have on his like effect, you know?
Yes.
It's like he's cultivated this image that I'm sure if there are clothing ways to get around some of the more obvious weaknesses in his armor, he might do that. You dig?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah, he is.
I can't wait for his first interview from prison where he just like he's visibly just like, you know, always like it's just like, oh, you mean he wasn't 6'3" and 220 pounds of pure muscle this whole time? And he's just like, you know, the food in prison, it's not as bad as they say. I've been putting on a lot of weight really fast. They're just like, former Mr. President, you've only been in here for 7 days. And he's just like, I know, it's crazy. I put on like 35 pounds. I don't know what they're feeding me.
I'm bulking up. I'm starting my sumo career.
Yeah, you know, actually, I think this is what the kids call getting prison swole. I'm getting swole.
Oh, and the one last little tidbit. I don't know if this is for either of the two cases that are being that are going to be starting up real soon, because our boy Cheesebro and our lady the Kraken, the two of them asked for speedy trials in Georgia, and the DA there accommodated them, so they're going on trial in October very soon. And it has been released that one of the witnesses for the state in these cases is going to be Lynn Wood, our old QAnon nutball buddy. Lynn Wood is now
haven't heard that name in the age of a dog.
Yes,
he's just been chilling in his plantation.
Yes, just hanging out in his plantation, talking about how much he loves Trump and MAGA and promoting QAnon bullshit. And now I'm assuming he will be a hostile witness, but he is going to be a witness testifying on behalf of the state against the defendants in the RICO case in Georgia. So that and the best part about the Georgia trials is they're going to be televised. We're going to see Linwood on the stand doing his shit. So yeah.
Oh, I hope he brings his gun.
I don't think he will be allowed. I don't think he's going to be allowed to bring the gun to court. As much as that would be great.
This damn country can't even bring your gun to court anymore.
Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, let him bring his gun.
How am I supposed to shoot a judge?
Oh, we used to be a country, a proper country. We used to be. Not so much anymore.
Yeah. I hope he wears the most racist, like, plantation ass outfit.
Dude, the worst part. The worst damn thing that ever happened to this country is when the transgenders took away our court guns.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Fucking God. I hate how much they love transphobia for no reason. They've got literal no leg to stand on, and they just love it so
much. My favorite thing with these people is that you will literally see on their timelines, like back-to-back tweets being like, the WNBA is stupid and terrible, and women's athletics is shit. Why are you putting this woke agenda on ESPN? Hashtag boycott ESPN. Hashtag I hate everything. Hashtag boo. And then the next post will be like, trans swimmer wins race. Women's athletics being tarnished by men converting to women to steal their glory. And it's like, just a second ago you said you hated women's athletics. Now women's athletics is what you care about, and you're so scared that trans people are going to ruin it. It's just, oh my God. These people are just such...
I also love the idea that somebody's just like, you know what? I really love swimming, but I don't love it enough to just get better at it. So what I'm going to do is change everything about my life and hope that I'm better at it than this other field of competitors. And it's just like, that's just get as good at swimming as you can be. Just be satisfied. Like, that person, that would be an insane choice for somebody to make, to uproot their whole life, to opt in for all of the hate that trans people get just to be good at a sport relative to some other people. Like, it's so crazy. Anyway,
it's just the most ridiculous thing. It's just literally an excuse. It's literally an excuse to try to find an issue where you can try to get Joe Sixpack to maybe agree with you on, yeah, it isn't fair that the men are competing against the women. That's kind of bullshit. And you just use that as a wedge to try to just hate trans people across the board because you have this one thing where it's like morally ambiguous or gray. If a trans woman has an advantage over a cis woman in an athletic competition. And so they're just like, well, this is our one in to try to get people to be upset about this, because if we just say we hate trans people for no good reason at all, that just makes us look like the hateful bigots we are. So we have to massage this. We have to try to find some way to like sugarcoat our bigotry, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely
kid comes home from school. He angrily throws his basketball across the room, slumps down in his seat. He's angry. I'll never get better at basketball. And then he, throws on his TV and it's like, live on ESPN3 from the Dallas Superdome, it's the All Leper Basketball League. And then he's just like, maybe I can get leprosy and then I can be good at basketball. And everyone in his life is just like, no, just train hard. And, and love the game for who, what you're, what you want to do here is insane, right? And he's just like, no, I will become the greatest leper basketball player. Why don't we have an unlimited budget for skits? Why can't we do little skits that nobody watches on YouTube? Anyway. Donald Trump remains a moron. The wheel turns ever onward. Yes. Let's move to our mailbag for the week, shall we?
Our listeners got questions. We got answers. It's time for Q&A.
Pancake Peasant asks, I need cool Ren Fair ideas. Do y'all have any suggestions?
What do you mean here? What do you mean? What cool?
Yeah, don't go to a Ren Fair. Boom.
Wow, what do you mean? You're supposed to dress? You're supposed to put... Okay, here's my... I don't know, this vague question, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. Get some fake elf ears. Put some flowers in your hair, maybe like a flower crown. Make one if you need. I have one right there that I wear to the Ren Fair. And you have to get a dress or top or something that like pushes your titties up in a way that is like mathematically impossible.
Of course, it's very popular.
Yeah. And have a turkey leg. I don't know. Have a good time.
Yeah, so I was making the dumb joke mostly because I know that I'm currently in the middle of planning a trip to go to the Ren Fair this year. So if Pancake Peasant isn't cool, then I am also not cool because I'm going to the Ren Fair this year. I'd like to.
Ren Fairs are cool. They're fun.
Advice would be to child-free it if you can. Like if you can do just like adult, like child-free Ren Fair. Because there's a lot of, like, Ren Fair seems like the sort of thing that a kid would love, but there's a lot of, like, subtle resistance to the general vibe that you might not think about immediately. Like the fact that it's just, like, in some woods or whatever. Like, so it's going to be hard on their little feet all day.
Ours is in the middle of the desert, like 2 hours out of the city, and it's, like, one road, and you just stuck on it for hours. And it's like, you don't want to take kids to this.
There's probably going to be, like... And there's probably going to be like skeeters and other pests, and they're going to be tired and cranky, and the bathroom situation is probably not going to be great. And like they might get scared at some stuff. So like kids are just like, it's just like, oh, I'd love to take my kid to this. It's just like, I've been around enough kids at Ren Fairs to know that it's a coin flip as to whether or not they're going to want to be there at all.
There's a lot of Shakespeare, Is your kid like a nerd? Does he like Shakespeare? Probably not. He probably likes Fortnite. So you probably don't want to take him.
Because they only really do those, like the jousts or whatever. They only, like, those things do not run constantly because they are a lot of work. They're
it's like a timed thing. There's sad camels at ours sometimes. I wouldn't recommend even bringing your kid to that because it's like kind of depressing, in my opinion. You're going to want to do the dip your hand in the wax and make a hand candle. You're going to want to see some glass blowers and some flamethrowers. You know what we always have at ours? There's always this guy that sets up and it's like, a typical fucking, I don't even know, like it's a store with like wooden dragons or some shit. And he's got InfoWars shit all over that place. It's like, there's weirdos there,
Nice. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of overlap. Conservative people love dressing up. They love a Civil War reenactment. They love a Ren Fair. They love a plantation like debutante thing. They just love dressing up. If you're planning on costuming and you are going to be whatever costume you're putting together is going to be presenting as male, one of the hallmark costuming tips is that you should probably have a hat of some kind. Period appropriate people didn't go hatless unless they were like monks or whatever. Like everybody had like a cap or something that they would have to keep their head protected from the sun, the harsh sun or whatever. So if you're going to be doing costuming, look into a hat, because not having a hat, like you're not the fucking Witcher. Have a hat.
I think that's would be my one thing is like, how serious is your Ren Fair? Is it like fully medieval or is it just cosplay? Because I've seen Ren Fairs where people are knights and then you have a few elves and stuff like that and you keep that kind of theme. And then you have Ren Fairs where Deadpool's hanging out and it's just this kind of thing where it's like, okay, is this an actual like medieval Ren Fair or is this just, I got my cosplaying gear, I'm putting on my cosplaying gear.
You want a hard dress code?
Well, I just want to know, like, what's
I mean, I kind of do. I either want, like, if I'm at a Red Fair, I either want you to be
just
immersion? Like dressed like a regular ding dong, like me, because I'm not wearing costumes, or like be in period appropriate, like or theme appropriate, like costumes. Like, don't show up as like, don't be the guy that shows up dressed as like a Star Trek character or whatever. You know, you're not cool. It's like, oh, so subversive. You were supposed to show up as one thing, and you showed up as a different thing. That's crazy. Dude, get this on TikTok or whatever. These guys are different. They're like... Yeah. I don't know.
Our Ren Fair has like a royal guard, like a whole royal, like it has a queen and a king and like their whole fucking, odd.
Is
like,
yours year round or seasonal?
It's seasonal.
Okay.
But like when they like the queen walks around and like they have the like make way for the queen and she just literally walks around the whole fucking day and then she shows up at the joust and like you can eat with her at like one of the restaurants and it's like a whole thing.
That's very similar to how our local one is. There's the court and they walk around and greet the people and they have their knights with them. So that way you get to see knights walking around in their full shit. Also, I think the queen might be the one who oversees ours has. Or I haven't been in many, many years, so maybe this has changed because of what I'm about to say. But they used to have a cleavage competition, and I believe
they don't have that at ours.
I can't remember if it was the queen or the king that presided over that. I think it may have been the queen to make it seem a little less sketchy.
That's
but
awesome.
Yeah, it was a big corsety cleavage competition that anyone that wanted to could enter and try to win a prize. Anyway, yeah, Ren Fairs are a blast. Every once in a while. I feel like they're diminishing returns year over year, so I tend to like to go to them once every like 5 to 10 years.
Definitely. I haven't been in a long
question.
time.
Love a Ren Fair. It just happens to be the season for it. Love it.
Yeah. I worked at Excalibur and we had like it was like King Richard's Fair, and it was basically like a jousting competition, and you go and it was basically like a 2-hour kind of like Ren Fair kind of thing where they had the pageantry, they had the medieval theme,
like medieval times, but in a casino.
Yes. So this was the most ridiculous thing. So Excalibur gets bought by another company, and because of Excalibur is this rundown, dingy, shitty casino, our first concern is, well, this new company's just going to blow us up and just rebuild the property into something that isn't a dumb, bad-looking casino castle thing. And they did this jousting competition. We all get into the King Richard's Fair. They do the jousting competition. And then our new CEO pretended that she was on the horse doing the jousting because she disappeared. The person riding the horse disappeared, and then our CEO walked out wearing a headset, having quote unquote taken her helmet off, and she was wearing a full suit of armor. So that was how our new CEO of Excalibur addressed her new employees for the first time, just wearing a suit of armor.
Whoa. How do you know that she didn't get off the horse?
I don't. It was very slick. It was done very slickly. It could absolutely have been her on the horse doing the jousting.
Also, if she really wanted to sell it, I think it would have been a lot funnier if like the horse rides on like a full night, all the deal rides off fucking in the thing, and then here she comes out full full business blazer suit, looking mad good, full night helmet on top of it, just talking into a headset through it, just being like, "Hey everybody, just got off my horse. It's good to be here and finally meet your new CEO, Sir Whoever."
Yes. That'd have been so much better. Oh God, yeah, that was not great. But yeah, I was just like, man, like seriously, I just would love to know who went through the whole idea of, yeah, you should be wearing the suit of armor. It would be totally awesome. It's like, no, it wasn't. But thankfully, basically, the only thing that mattered was she was like, we are not blowing Excalibur up, and we were all like, yay, we get to keep our jobs. So that was thanks, Night Lady for CEO for not blowing up my casino. Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir. Continued appointment.
Yes.
Of the Devonshire continued employments.
Yes. DR initially asks, what are the odds that RFK Jr. is being propped up to help divide the electorate in an effort to help the GOP in 2024? That's basically 100%, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what happened.
but it doesn't really work in the sense that there's really no one that would vote for RFK Jr. who was originally voting for Biden and then was like, oh shit, I've got a shinier, better new toy than Biden. RFK Jr., absolutely the play. Like, literally all he had going for him was the last name Kennedy and thus the name recognition that gave. But the moment the man talks, you find out that he's an anti-vax crank who also, by the way, has a Nazi running his Twitter feed. So that ain't great. I mean, so it's just, I really don't understand what the point of him was. One of the
he's not being subtle. He came here to the border to do like border propaganda. Like, who are you trying to win over? Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
What Democrat? what Democrat is just like? Yeah, RFK Jr. is tough on the border. Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't remember if we brought this up on the podcast previously, but there was a moment where he was just like, 14 days ago, I asked for Secret Service protection, and it's been 88 days since my campaign began. And just literally put 1488 into one of his tweets, and people did the math, and no one knows what his Secret Service request was given, but it wasn't 88 days since he started his campaign. It was total bullshit.
So Eric Clapton is like totally doing one of his events, like he's opening for one of his events. The guy's a piece of shit too. So yeah, only the best people rallying around the.
Yeah,
RFK. I want him to hold a rally here because I feel it'll be like 10 Jimmy Dore fans and like a Glenn Greenwald fan and like some guy that still has his Occupy shirt on, but he listens to Tim Pool now, and like just the weirdest fucking crowd, you know, just the weirdest crowd. Some Red Scare fans, just you got Grimes in the audience for some fucking reason. Like.
I just love the Occupy to Tim Pool pipeline. It's true. It's got to be there. Oh my god. Oh, well, yeah. Fuck RFK Jr. and his dumb campaign. But one of the guys I follow, one of the QAnon promoters I follow, is just adamant that RFK Jr. either has to be Trump's vice president or has to be a part of the Trump administration because Trump just isn't solid enough on vaccines. We need like a hardcore lunatic anti-vaxxer in Trump's ear in order to make sure that the QAnon message is getting through to the God Emperor, because otherwise it just ain't gonna work. So yeah, I mean, like Colonel West, like trying to be the Green Party candidate, that's more the appropriate, like trying to rat fuck of trying to actually siphon off votes to Biden's left. Because RFK Jr. is just a Republican. He's running Democrat for God knows what reason, but he's running Democrat mostly for QAnon people to be like, well, the DNC is going to steal it from RFK Jr. because they fucking won't let him win. And it's like, no one's stealing it from RFK Jr. He's going to get no votes because no Democrats actually want that guy to be like their nominee because he sucks shit. So yeah, tough.
But
buddy.
I'm the buff Kennedy.
Oh God! RFK did something where he's like, "You vote for me because I'm someone who will finish his term," and someone was like, "Oh yeah, Kennedy's finishing their term. That always happens. That's what I want to vote for.
Vote for me. I'm fucking yoked."
And then he did like a set like 150 pounds, and he was like blown up after like lifting it like 4 times.
Yeah, he may have been introduced to some friends, some chemical friends. Anyway,
yeah, that guy's got show muscles, not go muscles. Anyhow, that brings us to our the question that always ends the mailbag. What are you guys looking forward to?
Me and the lads are about to finish our 4-player playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. This is pretty exciting.
Outstanding.
Just because it's a testament to the fact that sometimes you can get adults together to do a thing reliably. Like every 2 or 3 days we get together and we play for like 2 or 3 hours, and over the course of the past couple of weeks we've knocked out just about all of it. We're like deep into the 3rd act, and we've got a few more major quests to wrap up, and then that should be the biscuit. So looking forward to finishing that off, and it will be a testament to being able to complete something you set your mind to as an adult.
And not Starfield. So yes, that is good.
Yeah, I'll play Starfield when it stops being fucking boring, so probably never.
What are you looking forward to, Haley?
Nothing in particular whatsoever. So we'll say
Look, Haley, are you okay? Do we need to do an intervention?
I got you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to my arm stop hurting because I got the vaccine and my arm like literally just went numb and died. So
I mean,
I'm looking
that is
forward.
Unfortunate, but that's also kind of like it's kind of whack. Is the only thing you're looking forward to. We need to
I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot of things. You want the full fucking itinerary?
I'm just saying, like, we ask this question every week, and you're always just like, oh no, I don't
know,
like
man.
anything.
You want me to? I'm not like a planner, It's like, what do you want
it doesn't
from
have
me?
to be planning. It just be a thing you like frequently.
But it's like, what am I looking forward to? Like, bro, I live by the day by day. Like, I don't know what I'm doing later. I'm looking forward to whatever.
Well, then look forward to a delicious pizza. Looking forward to the
I'm looking forward to whatever the fuck I eat later and whatever the fuck I do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing.
I love how I'm the asshole for just being like, hey, you should probably have stuff in your life to look forward to. Like, fuck you. I don't want to like shit. I'm fucking miserable. I fucking like it that way. So how about
I'm
you
not. I like a lot of things. It's just like, I don't know what I'm looking forward to, man. You want me to plan my week ahead and then tell you what I'm looking forward to? What if I'm disappointed?
That's fine. What are you disappointed in? We're fine. Whatever emotions we're gonna practice mirroring. I'm gonna energy match you, Haley.
You know what? Hell no, we're not modifying shit. This is the intervention. We'll make Haley spark joy in her life.
I will. I'll find something.
I'd rather die than modify it. I'd rather die.
FYI, Elle's doing an inside joke with me that is absolutely destroying me right now. So.
All right, so stop dying.
Mike,
so that you can deliver us your excitement.
I'm looking forward to the fact that I'll be joining Haley in the ranks of the Omni-vaccinated very shortly, because this afternoon I'm getting my appointment to receive the latest in Bill Gates' nanobot technology. So I too will be enjoying a sore arm very soon, because I am just like the luckiest shucklefuck in the world, because I work this incredibly public job, and as I've mentioned innumerate times before, casinos are an incredibly Republican white man based like customer base. So no one there's 2 or 3 masks in my building at any given time. Like 400 people in the building, 2 of them are masked up. So it's just like, the fact that I've never gotten COVID, and this isn't even like I've not been tested, so I don't know if I didn't get it kind of thing, but every time I've had a funky cold, I've been like, fuck, this could be it, and I get tested, nope, I don't have it. So the fact that I've never gotten COVID has been like super miraculous. So the moment I saw the TV ads, they were like, the updated boosters are here. I'm like, I'm just running to the pharmacy immediately, like, hit me with it. Give me 3 of them. I don't care. I need it. Because like my job is a place where no one takes this seriously at all. Like the clientele do not care in any way, shape, or form. A while ago, we had one guy who would show up on the weekends to play some blackjack, and he had a hat that read "Fuck your masks and fuck your vaccine." Like, so I mean, like that
what a
is
nice guy.
Yeah, that's the mentality of our customers. It's great. So just like, yeah, looking forward to that. Enjoying the fact that I have steered out of the skid for my fantasy football teams. So boom, go me. And hopefully that continues apace. And beyond that, just counting down the days for my glorious liberation and so on and so forth. And I will leave it at that. So, yes.
How cryptic. Not even I know what the fuck you're talking about. But on that note, it is time for us to hop on our Segway scooters. Remember those? And drift slowly but stabilized out of HellwQrld.
Not our one wheel rollerblades or skateboards or whatever those fucking things are.
No, I mean I can't imagine one of those big enough for me. I think if I found one of those big enough for me, I would look like a Batman villain.
I just remember that entirely because we had that video of those people doing that fake boot camp, and they're all like,
when they're like drill sergeant or whatever, just gliding by them on the mono wheel. Yeah, that shit was bad job.
It was so awesome.
Yeah,
the fake vet bro coming in on the mono wheel. You gotta want it. You gotta earn it. And it's like, dude, you're on a mono wheel smoking a cigar. You're not a drill sergeant. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no way. I mean, God, could you imagine the size of one of those big enough for me? That would be insane.
When I win the Powerball, I'm building you one.
Yeah, it's gonna it's me, the fat goblin. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening and supporting the show. If you'd like to continue to support the show slightly harder, but continuously for free, you can do so by giving us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. If you have money and you'd like to give it to the show, we'll be happy to take it. You can visit patreon.com/pokerpolitics and donate up to a minimum of $2 or more a month. We have various different tiers, but the spiciest stuff happens once you get to $5 a month or more, because that unlocks all of our bonus content, which at this point is, I want to say 50 to 60 hours, maybe even more than that, of bonus stuff, including our various programming related to us listening to / watching and dissecting Q-related media stuff. Series such as Kabbalah and What We Do Out of Shadows and Mule's Errand. So you find all that stuff once again, patreon.com/pokerpolitics. Thank you so much to all of our beautiful babies up in the crib. If you have money and you don't want to give us to us because we're a bunch of ding-dongs, you can do some good with it in various ways. We would suggest donating it to love146.org, their organization whose vision is the end of child trafficking and exploitation. Thank you, as always, to DJ Minimal Effort for use of our intro song. No social media for them. Good for them. Thank you, as always, to Frosty, our voiceover artist who does all of our drops and our voice of Q. They can be found on Twitter at FrostyVO. You can find the show that you're listening to on Twitter currently at HellwQrld with a Q instead of an O. You can find Mike Rains there as well at Poker Politics. Also on Blue Sky at Poker Politics, as well as Haley at AZRWW.
Yeah, just look for Arizona Right Watch. It's not. Yeah, because there was
just
me.
Rebrand recently. We got the wing out of there. Now it's just the Right Watch.
No more wing.
Soon it's just going to be Arizona Watch. Then it's going to be Air Watch. There's going to be Watch. And Wah.
Someone brought this up that boneless wings can't be called wings because they're just nugs. They're just not actual wings. So if you go to the supermarket, it's wings WY. It's with a Y instead of an I and a Z instead of an S. It's wangs. You should be Arizona Right Wangs Watch.
Oh no.
No, I do not endorse
I will be Right Wing Watch.
Transitioning Arizona Right Wang Watch. That will be an invitation to a disastrous DM situation, I'm sure. Okay, anyway, and you can find me on Blue Sky at Mysterious L. I abandoned Twitter because it sucks. Anyway, thank you once again for everybody listening. As always, I have been one of your hosts, the Mysterious L. Joined as always by our boots on the ground in Arizona, Haley, aka Arizona Right Watch, and our expert in all things QAnon crazy, Mr. Mike Rains. Good speed, Patriots!